everyone, it's Bonnie here. Today I'd like to share with you my swap that I'm doing with Michelle Pipeling, and I'll put the link to her YouTube channel in the description box below. I have already received her swap package, and I'm a little late on getting hers to her. As most of you know, I'm a very slow crafter. So anyway, Michelle, I hope you love it, and by the time this video goes up, she'll have already received it. So let me go ahead and share with you. Michelle wanted a doily fabric book, and this is what I created. So as you can see, it's quite chunky, and I just bound it with a clip here, you know, one of those ring binder clips, and have all these dangles here. Some of them are, you know, used throughout the album, so there's all kinds of stuff in here. So the first page is this right here, and it's a beautiful image, and what I did was I put this, it's really pretty, sorry, it's early in the morning, this pretty trim around it, and I had to cut like right here so it went around the corners more easily. Okay, and then here's just pieces of fabric, not fabric, doily that I cut out and just, you know, made this little flower type thing. And then there's a doily behind her, and just more appliques here cut out and all around as well, like this piece here. And then there's another doily here and another doily here, and then one more behind that. And down here I just have a piece of a doily sticking out, and then just more bits of, it's just like little bits of doilies. So see, it's all like layers and layers of beautiful doilies out of my stash. So as you can see, the page is pretty thick, and here is the next one. And it's another gorgeous image. And again, I put some pretty trim around her. And there's a doily here. It's like one of those little ones that have, you know, the raised flower in the center. And then I just put a button there. And here's just more little centers of doilies. That one came out really cool. And a lot of this stuff, the material in the doilies and stuff, I used either avocado stain or I used tea stain. So that's what you get, you know, these different colors here. And here's this. This is really cool. When I cut this, or this is how it came out. This is like a lace trim, and that's how it came out after I washed it. So I didn't iron it, I left it like that. So I thought that was pretty cool. And again, there's, you know, tons of layers. Here's some, it's a doily, but it's like the end trim off of it, and I just put that behind there. And then there's another doily there, and so on and so forth. So that's that page. And here's this one. I think this one is so cute. I love this image of these three girls. And again, I put trim around the frame. And these are all images that I got off the internet, and I printed them on fabric. Okay, so here's some little flowers that I cut out of some, I think it was probably a curtain. And here's like little leaves, and these are cut out of some trim that I had I don't know, it's left over. When I do these, I just snip off bits and pieces of doilies and fabrics and stuff like that. So I forget where I get these from. You know, most of them, like I said, are just like off doilies. Here's the centers of some doilies. And I just layered them. And here's a little butterfly. And again, more of those tiny little doilies. And I have a button in there. I have a couple of pearls here. And here's more of those little leaves. Look like leaves. And a doily there. And another one here. This is a really pretty doily here. It's really pretty. I love the shape of that. And more underneath. And then more underneath that. And then more underneath that. This piece here is from Treasures Deluxe. I know that for sure. And then this is really cool. This is a doily, and that's the outside part of it. So I had two, you know, like this and like that, and then the inside was a big doily. So I used that to dangle down. And more just pieces of doilies here. Another pretty one. Okay, so then here is the next page, and you have these gorgeous ladies, and it looks like she's writing a letter there. And again, I use pretty trim around the image. I have this beautiful dangle trim here that was cut off the bottom of a curtain. Isn't that so pretty? I just love that. And then here is a piece of, I have like this huge piece of like lace, but it's all of this. So I just cut this out because I thought it looked like, you know, leaves, and I like the look of like leaves coming out from behind stuff. And I know this is a hot mess video because I can't remember everything that I used. But again, here it's just bits of doilies or laces. And here's a little vintage button. Isn't that cute? So I just layered all kinds of stuff behind there. Here's some pretty trim. Another doily. And this is just another applique. And then here is a piece of doily back there. So it's just basically tons of layers of doilies. Okay, so here's the next page, and I love this image. She's so beautiful and so romantic looking, so feminine. And again, I put some lace around her, and these are just like little appliques cut out of some lace trim. And this as well, I kind of, you know, draped it like that and put this here. So it kind of goes down, and then made another flower cluster out of just bits. So there's this here, and I made it kind of look like leaves, and this going up, and then there's a couple of layers here to make that pretty flower. And then I have more of that. No, this is a different dangle trim than that one. That one looks like that, and then this one looks like this, which again was cut off of a beautiful curtain that had the fringe around the bottom. Okay, and here's more pieces of trim, and I put like a little flower there. Okay, so that's that page. And here's the next page, and this is one of my most favorite images. She's just so beautiful and just so, I don't know, she's just absolutely gorgeous with her beautiful dress, and she's got a beautiful shawl, and she's kind of lounging on, you know, like those old-fashioned benches, but because this is smaller, I couldn't get the whole image in there. But again, I used lace around her, and here's a pretty little applique cut out of a curtain. And here are little doilies here, and see that little teeny tiny doily there? Isn't that cute? That's like the center of a doily. So in here, I didn't want to waste anything, so I took pieces, you know, from the center and, you know, made these flowers here out of that. And I put some random pearls on this page to kind of match her image. And then here's a wedding dress applique up there, and more doilies. And then here is, isn't that so cute? So it's a, like I said, it's a piece of trim, lace trim, and after I washed it, this is what it looked like. So again, I just put that there. And here is the other half of that doily that had these cute little flowers on it. And here's more pearls here and up there. These are vintage buttons here. So I really love that page. And then you have this one here, and it's these two ladies, and it looks like they're either reading out of a journal or a book, but I just absolutely love it. I love the colors of these beautiful Victorian images that I found. Okay. And this one I put the outside of a doily around this image. So I thought that looked really beautiful. And here's more cute little doilies. And here's some appliques cut out of a curtain. And this too here. And then I have more of that lace dangle trim here. And then under here is, I can't remember what that's called. I always forget what this is called. But yeah, I have that hanging down there. This doily is really, really pretty. I think that's like a vintage one that I had. But again, there's, you know, layers of doilies here. And this is always pretty to put on the outside of your doily books or fabric albums. Alright, so that's that page. And then the last one is, so I put one big doily and I put more of this here. Battenberg, I think that's maybe what it's called, Battenberg. And there's another doily on top of that one. And then this tiny one here, which is super cute. And this is just an applique cut out of a larger doily. And then I have these little appliques here cut out of some lace, and I put them all around the entire circle here. So I thought that gave it a really pretty look. Like this is a flower and it's got leaves coming out, and then more like little leaf type things coming out of there. Okay, so that is my doily book from Michelle. Michelle, I hope you love it. I had so much fun creating this for you. See how wide it is and all the pretty dangles. I really love how it came out. Okay, so I'm going to show you the next project. Okay.